of the Washoe County School District Family Resource Center funding status, including the status of grant applications and possible action to provide recommendation to staff on scheduling future fundraising and publicity events. This is for possible action. Ms. Brenda, you want to lead us through this? Or is this me?
Or I can do it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. This is Lisa Guzman for the record, and I would like to share that we are currently in grant writing season for two of our big grants. One of those is the Title 4B grant, and the other one is our Title 20 grant, our Children's Trust Fund grant. The Title 4B grant is actually comprised of two separate grants. One is called Family Preservation, and the other is Family Support. And these grants fund our partnership with Washoe County Human Services Agency, so our work around child protective services. There is slightly more funding available this year, so we're going to increase our ask from last year. We are adding a new goal in family preservation around serving children who have been placed in adoption or guardianship.
Why is it echoing?
Situations.
Can you unmute yourself there?
I can.
So that
I'm going to pause while we're addressing our technical issues.
I'm so sorry, Scott. When you mute your side, I can't hear anything, so I can see everyone.
Which I'm talking about.
I just unmuted.
Oh, are you muted?
I am now. Can you hear us now? Perla? Okay, thank you so much. Lisa, back to you.
Okay, do I need to recap everything, or did everybody get that we're in grant season and writing?
Teachers, don't forget to turn in your parent sign-in sheets to Haley and any extra tickets you may have. They need to come down to the raffle. Teresa does not bother me while I'm standing here. It's fine. So, again, teachers, please bring down your sign-in sheets. Oh, and your Student of the Month forms if you have them. Way to go, Mr. Pendergrass! Anyway, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming to tonight's student-led conference.
I don't think they know we're here, so I don't think they care.
Happy birthday, Miss Maloney.
Okay, happy birthday. Thank you. We're resuming back to our meeting. Sorry.
Okay. This is the best.
We are at a school. This is what a lively meeting. Okay, so yes, so Lisa Guzman for the record. We're currently in grant writing mode for a few of our biggest grants, Title 4B, which funds our work around child protective services, and Title 20, Children's Trust Fund, which funds our parenting programs. So I actually submitted the first draft today of the Title 4B grant. I believe Children's Trust Fund is due a week or so from now, and we will probably not get our notification until late May. So we will be eagerly awaiting that.
Any questions on that information? Is there any action that we would like to take on this item? Okay. We will move on to item 2.0. I'm sorry. Perla, do you have any comments that you would like to make on item 2.02?
No comments at this time, thank you.
Thank you. With that, we will close item 2.02 and move on to item 2.03, which is presentation and discussion and possible action to approve a potential event to recognize Family Resource Day in May 2024. Lisa, back to you.
We can both do this one. So Brenda Costello. So we've had some interns look across the nation as far as how other Family Resource Center days are conducted. We have kind of settled on doing a virtual social media event. So we'll have tips on Family Resource Center. We'll have, we'll share maybe pictures and things of other family resource centers. We'll talk about the state of Nevada family resource centers. And I do believe we're going to try to figure out how to put a, like, send a gift button on our social media. We would somehow, someday love to do something in person. It's just, it falls on staff. And since we're in 5 centers located across all of Washoe County, it's tough to land on a site or a spot. So open up to any questions, comments, other issues. Anything to add? Okay. Thank you to the interns that did that research for us.
Yes, thank you. Perla, do you have anything for item 2.03?
No, I just think that that's really awesome. It's a good happy medium to do it virtually, so I'm excited to hear how it goes.
Rebecca, do you have anything?
How does that work? Like, what do you mean? Like a live Instagram or Facebook or something? Like, how does that work?
There are stars on Facebook that are watching, or like if we were to do a live event and broadcast that event on Facebook, they have the choice to send us stars, which equal to dollar amounts. They can go as low as $1, cents, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta figure out how that looks like in the background. Sorry, just saying word for the record.
And then it will, again, Brenda, this for the record. So this will just be like sharing tips about what a family resource center is on our already existing social media. Mm-hmm. And we will have pictures of staff. I swear to God, we will. We will have pictures of the exterior of the buildings. We will have pictures of our food pantries. So we will just circulate that throughout the day with help.
We do have a few videos that our school district communications department has done for us throughout the years. And we can always show that along with the 20-year capsule that was dug out a couple of years ago from Desert Heights. So we can do a combination and compilation of videos, what we were like 20 years ago versus what we are now.
You're gonna love it.
Brenda, do you need a motion from us to agree on that, or are you set? You don't need any direction from us today because the plans have already been laid out.
I don't think we need a motion for that. I think that's just what our plans are. And if there's disagreement, then speak now. Yeah.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll close item 2. Sarah, do I need a motion on that? I don't think so.
No, if you don't need any action, then you don't need to take a motion to not take action. It does say to approve a potential event in recognition.
Okay.
Maybe if the committee so chooses, they can just adopt the recommendations for it and like approve it. So there's kind of blessings from the committee.
Okay. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No,
okay.
we do
I
not.
have a public comment.
Oh.
What is your guys' event in May?
Well, we have a recognized event by the city of Reno 20 years ago, clarified that May 15th is Family Resource Center Day.
So, for my pea-sized brain at 6 o'clock at night, Brenda, will you generalize what is going to happen on May 15th so that we can formalize a motion giving our stamp of approval?
Your brain is pea-sized, and mine just became a popcorn kernel. So, so we would like to, as a staff, recommend that we do a virtual, through social media, recognition of Family Resource Center Day on May 15th, including interviews, pictures, tips, and photographs from across the state, city, and the nation for Family Resource Center Day.
Okay, hearing that recommendation, is there a motion on that recommendation?
A motion to approve?
Thank you. We have a motion from our Vice Chair, Rebecca. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Perla. So we have a motion and a second. Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Anything else that you need from us on that item?
No.
No. Okay. Item 2.04 is presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Family Resource Center data and outreach events, including future community outreach events and volunteer opportunities. This item is for presentation and discussion only. Yesenia, take it away.
Hi. I promise I have it all together. Okay, so this should be somewhat short and sweet. Basically, we're sharing the same information we've shared in the past.
Did Perla get it on email?
Should have.
Perla, do you have this document available to you?
Can
Okay.
you pull it up on the, sorry.
No, you're fine. Hold please, we're gonna navigate technology and try to pull it up on the screen. Perla, are you able to see that presentation?
I am, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Jesse, take it away. I can navigate slides if you want me to.
All right, so the first data we're gonna share is through CallRail, which is our calling text messages database that we use to communicate with clients. The communications we do with clients are in regards to setting up appointments, helping them with their power bill through the emergency assistance program. The quantity of phone calls from January 1st of this year through February 29th through that system, not accounting from the landlines that we've had in place before, are a total of 2,506 calls throughout all 5 centers, including the juvenile prevention transition and the call flow that rings throughout all centers. Okay.
This is Brenda for the record. To clarify, that doesn't include the landlines.
Yeah.
So many of us, we receive calls through CallRail, but sometimes it's easier to use the landline to call out, which then isn't reflected. But even so, 2,506 calls is...
Yes, and this system was only implemented effective 2020 when the pandemic hit. So, but the Family Resource Centers have been in existence for over 20 years, which the reason why the landlines are coming into conversation. Next are the Google business data for each of our centers. You can see there is also the Google reviews. I picked a few from each of our centers. We all work together the same efforts, but you can see how our community looks a little different depending on the location and the needs that they're searching while using the Google tool. The page you are seeing right now is Central FRC, North Valley's FRC, and as you turn the page, it goes on to Sparks Family Resource Center and Sam Valley Family Resource Center. Any questions so far?
When you guys talk about landlines, is there talks about getting rid of those? Is it if we get rid of those numbers that are out there will go away and we don't want to do that?
Well, with the CallRail system, we use the landlines to link them because how CallRail works is kind of like a Google phone. So we need an actual phone to link it to so it can actually ring.
Okay.
There's also an app on our phones that we can do that when we're out and about doing outreach or picking up food for the pantries. So we're still able to forward those calls to those personal cell phones using the app itself, so our personal phone numbers are not shown. We can reply to text messages, we can answer phone calls, and that. But thank you for the question.
So, and Scott, to clarify, if we were to call out on CallRail, we would be using our cell phones.
Okay.
So I need some sort of an actual cellular or phone service to actually work.
Okay.
So it's just much easier to just pick up a landline and call, because if you use your, first of all, it's our personal cell phone, and then you have to access the VPN, so it masks your number, and then you have to give it permission, and then it calls the client.
Okay.
Right, so our actual personal phone numbers do not come anywhere and show to the clients.
Okay.
But it also enables us to receive phone calls through and text messages outside of regular business hours, which is a curse and a blessing.
Well, if we're doing events, per se, on a weekend or so, like we had one this past Saturday, and the clients needed to get a hold of us, we will be available. And we can always route it and forward it to our cell phone to actually follow us as we move.
Okay. And let the record reflect that.
Maria, can you meet
Anne has
Maria
joined us.
by the front door, please, Maria?
Thank you for making it up to
By the
Anne.
front door.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
You're here.
You made it.
Yeah, I left the house at 5.
So we're just going over item 2.04, which is the
Data.
the data and outreach events.
And as the last page for that presentation, it talks about recent family success stories. We're using the one for here, the Sun Valley Family Resource Center, where we are holding this meeting tonight. I'm not sure if Brenda wants to jump in and share, since it is her center, or if you would like me to keep going.
No, you're doing a fine job.
So Sun Valley Family Resource Center, Mom called the Sun Valley FRC on February 6th, seeking assistance with multiple resources, including diapers, food box, hygiene items, laundry soap, and other community organizations referrals. She had the mom text a picture of her ID and the Nevada Energy bill and told her that she will let her know what size diapers they had available when they get to the office in the morning. The centers texted on the following day, February 7th, to let the client know that they had the right size of diapers for the client's daughter, and they encouraged the client to come into the Family Resource Center when she was available. She was a walk-in to hear the Sun Valley FRC later on the same day on February 7th. Diapers, laundry soap, winter hats, and gloves, and the mobile harvest calendar for February and referrals to the Women and Children Center of the Sierra were shared with the client, along with the food box containing shelf-stable and canned goods, frozen fruit, frozen shrimp, cheese, and bread given to the client, which was the mom. The center let her know that they will be sending her information about Baby's Bounty as well, to reach out also to Nevada Energy and to see if she was eligible for the emergency safe assistance. Although she was ineligible for that assistance due to not having a past due balance, Mom knew. We told Mom to email her info regarding Baby's Bounty's information. So for that being said, one of the requirements for safe assistance, the emergency power bill assistance, is for that bill to be passed due. So when it comes, I'm sure, time, we can do a follow-up on that same family for next meeting, or if you want to give us an update, Brenda.
So I think she was eligible for SAFE the first week in March, so we were able to help her. So it's sometimes feels a little strange, especially our senior clients. This is not a senior with the diapers, but seniors really hate having their power bill go past due. And so when we coach them that it must be past due, they get very uncomfortable. So, but that's part of the criteria, it must be past due.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Sonia before we move on? Jesse, before we move on to the event? Perla, do you have any questions?
I did have one. I just wanted to make sure comfortable with letting it go past due, because I could see how that doesn't feel that great. Are there other resources available for families still if they haven't gone to that past due but they're needing assistance with that NV Energy?
Well, we always make notations in regards to their situation. We do a needs assessment and see how it's going. If it is the first time asking for assistance, there is the Energy Assistance Program EAP through the Welfare Office. However, that process is taking a lot longer than usual, up to 6 months. But if the power bill is not disconnected, we always keep in open communication with Nevada Energy Safe Department, and they prevent the person to go any farther into issues. So we always keep it into account, and we say we will follow up as soon as the bill is past due, and we make sure, because we have done this for quite a while, even before I joined the FRC, there wouldn't be any damage done to her account. There wouldn't be any deposits or fees acquired for her waiting for her bill to pass due. And I know it's very scary to hear that, to wait for it to be past due, but that's just part of the emergency program requirement to allow it. So the day off, so what we tell them, if your power bill is due, for example, March 12th, we call us, remind us on that day, on March 12th. And if it falls on the weekend, remind us the day before that weekend, and we will follow through. So we try to have them to also help them, and try to explain to them that they will get secure, because even though they become eligible for SAFE, it doesn't go right away through SAFE assistance. So there is a process that it waits to 2 to 3 billing cycles to show that assistance, once found eligible, shows in their account. I know it's really scary for them to let it go, and they don't see it right away as they would when they make themselves payments. You automatically see it on the account, but we've been doing this for a while, and we have a process. There is a portal that all of our family advocates and ourselves have access through the SAFE portal, and we enter that eligibility amount once they're found eligible. What that does is it goes directly to the SAFE department staff. They then approve it right away, which they've been doing so greatly lately. They are doing the approvals quite faster once they even send us the amount of that they have been found for. I know it's a long explanation. It's really hard to follow through and understand, but it does help when we try to explain to the clients that they are hesitant, and a lot of them, they get nervous and then they pay it. And if that happens, then it voids the assistance. So we say, if you really are in need of the assistance, right now we're doing $150 for electric and $150 for gas. And we're telling you are approved for the combination of $300 together. Make sure that you don't make any payments unless there are remaining balance. And so we let them know how much the remaining balance is. Let's say if she owns $1,000 and it's only for $300, then we say you have $700 left. You can work on payment arrangements for that remaining balance, but do not do anything more outside that to prevent that assistance be voided. I know, it's very complicated.
And I just want to clarify, these are the guidelines that NV Energy sets, not
Through
the
the
Family
SAFE
Resource
department,
Center.
exactly.
So, but they're guidelines that the Family Resource Center came up with NV Energy. So they just follow it. The customer service agents from NV Energy, who are located in 3 states, follow basically our guidelines that we originally established. So, and Perla, your question's very valid. And so it goes back to, this is about building relationships and trust with the families we work with. So if it's often their first time contacting us, they really are pretty mistrustful. If they've been working with us for a while, they trust us, they know us.
Yes.
So we want them to have that relationship with us.
Yes.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that information. I think just, a family hearing that explanation and the work that all of you do, like going above and beyond to check the portals and making sure it's not going over too far. I'm sure they feel really safe with that as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jessie before we let her escape the hot seat?
She's not going anywhere.
Okay.
I gotta go to the next part.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Still on item 2.04, the events and collaborations for the recorder. That can be you.
That will be me.
All right, Lisa, take it away.
Okay, Lisa Guzman. We have been out and about as usual, so everyone hopefully has a list of our outreach activities for the months of January and February, which I will go through for us. So we are continuing our SNAP outreach at all of our sites with the food bank. We are also, as we were just discussing, intake sites for the Safe Emergency Assistance Program, as well as the State of Nevada Energy Assistance Program. We've participated in the SARB meetings, which is Student Attendance Review Board. Catholic Charities food distribution at Sparks High School, which we actually had today. The mobile harvest from the food bank comes out to Sun Valley and North Valley's Family Resource Centers. We also have weekly food pantries with produce at North Valley, Sun Valley, and Feimster Family Resource Centers. We attended the HUG High School Wraparound Services meeting, the family stability meetings, as well as a recent convening of community school partners that occurred last week. We have ESL classes for adults through Northern Nevada Literacy Council at the Sparks and North Valley sites. We had a collaboration meeting with Ken Dellin and presented at their parenting classes. We attended a school district new employee resource fair that they did for the first time. We had a collaboration meeting with Willow Springs. We attended Washoe County School District Early Childhood Math Night, which is always well attended. We had another collaboration meeting with Northern Nevada Legal Aid, formerly Washoe Legal Services. We attended meetings of the Family Health Festival, as well as the Nevada Immigrant Coalition meetings, Medicaid MCO bi-monthly meetings, Altrusa monthly meetings, and a community outreach event with them at North Valley's Family Resource Center that occurred this past Saturday. We attended the International Women's Day event, Northern Nevada Public Health Rankings and Online Dashboard launch, which was today. Family Health Festival committee meetings, UNR Social Work intern collaboration meetings, a newcomer or refugee event at Hug High, and a meet and greet with new staff in our department from the Family Resource Center, Children in Transition, and Re-engagement staff. And you'll see that there are several upcoming events where we will be tabling to get the word out about the Family Resource Center, and feel free to stop by any of these that you're able to make. The Boys and Girls Club is hosting the biggest little Easter egg hunt on March 23rd, which I believe is this Saturday. Ken Dellin has additional parenting classes coming up in the North Valleys. North Valley's Family Resource Center, in conjunction with Molina MCO, is hosting free laundry days on March 28th at Mr. Bubbles. We have an all-staff meeting on April 2nd that Molina is presenting at. We'll be attending the Asian Community Development Center Resource Fair on April 21st, as well as the Silver Summit Baby Shower on April 24th. And North Valley's FRC is hosting another event in conjunction with Project 150 and Molina to be distributing shoes to 8th graders. And just a reminder, if you ever have some time to kill, you can check out the website for the National Family Support Network, and they always have informative webinars. And my favorite event,
Scott.
picking one. So I'm very excited about our new partnership with Northern Nevada Legal Aid. They actually attended our last meeting and approached us afterwards and are interested in partnering with us, which is very exciting. And we are working towards a pilot project of having virtual legal assistance hosted through the FRC sites. So we're going to pilot that in Sparks, hopefully starting in May.
Awesome, cool.
So more to come on that.
Thank you. Any questions for Lisa? Okay.
It's exhausting.
All right. Thank you for the hard work that you guys do. Please send our love and appreciation to the staff. It seems to always keep them busy. With that, we'll close item 2.04 and go on to 2.05, which is a presentation and discussion of the Washoe County School District Family Resource Center Strategic Plan. This is for presentation and discussion only. And before I kick it over to Brenda, since she's our presenter today, I wanted the council to know that I asked for this item on the agenda just so that we had some clarity in what the Family Resource Centers operate off of. So that, and this is going to be an ongoing series. We're not going to digest the, how many pages? 35 pages tonight. But I did ask for a few of the pages to be presented to us. And I pulled out the strengths and challenges of the Family Resource Centers. And so with that, I will let Brenda introduce the strategic plan and how it came about.
So, like many nonprofits, strategic planning is part of our core. Like, we have to do this. So the last one before this one was done in 2015. And then we had done some work. We had been asked to provide some work for this statewide collaboration about family resource centers and what we did. And lo and behold, the person asking the questions was Sheila Leslie. And so then we went and tugged on her shirt and said, "Do you want to do a strategic plan with us?" And she said no and nodded yes at the same time, and we captured her. So this strategic plan was conducted by no less than Sheila Leslie herself. So,
and who is Sheila Leslie to the Family
Sheila
Resource
Leslie,
Centers?
she is like a pillar of the very beginning from the Family Resource Center, and then has gone on to become an elected official and an untiring advocate for all things family and Northern Nevada, and now she's living in Southern Nevada. So, but we were blessed that we got to partner with her to do this. Again, this came about because Sheila was conducting a statewide assessment of all family resource centers. And so we piggybacked on that data to come up with, part of the foundation of our strategic plan. And the strategic plan that we have is from 20 to 2025, which sounded so far away, and now we already have to start thinking about it. So, and thanks, Scott, for talking about strengths and weaknesses. They're the same. We still have the strengths and challenges. So the strengths are our humans, our staff, and our passion. And that never goes away. And we have that deep understanding of each neighborhood that we do them in through the NRS statutes 430, right? NRS statute 430A. We are required to exist. We are required to exist in at-risk neighborhoods, which is the vernacular that was used back then. However, they never said how they were really going to fund us. So that remained on us. The state does give us state funding for that. It is not enough. So we would probably have maybe 1.5 of a family resource center if that's all the funding we relied on. So because of that, we are in those at-risk neighborhoods. And again, for anybody new, we're at Desert Skies tonight. We have O'Brien Middle School, Sparks High School, the Feimster Family Resource Center at the new Hug High School, and then Worcester High School has a family resource center on the backside located in the Early Childhood Center. So those are mostly walkable neighborhoods, or they're on a bus line. Thanks to Susan Sievert and our director, Rochelle Murillo, Desert Skies, when it opened, did not have a bus line. It does now. So again, at-risk neighborhoods, but the passion of the people that come into the resource center as oftentimes as clients and then end up being employees, or who come in as interns and then we hire them. So, because you got to have buy-in to do this work. Otherwise you burn out quickly. So we're adaptable to change. Oh, Lordy, are we adaptable? And technology, and directions, like we're really good at that. And we empower that organizational culture as Don, so we are part of that, the family strengths. We try to use a family strengths way to do things on all things. So we are excellent managers of available resources, which means that even when we have money, we are good stewards of that money. So there always is criteria, like the NV Energy, or like if there's rental assistance. We aren't just standing on street corners handing it out. So we are a trusted community resource. Again, that goes back to that conversation we had earlier, that people need to trust us, and they often don't the first visit. They told me to come here. How can we help you? I don't know. They just said come here. So those conversations oftentimes will kind of just stop right there. But then Jesse's going to give them a box of food or 50 pounds of dog food. Lordy. So, or winter gloves and hats, hygiene. If it's back to school, they might get a backpack filled with binder and notebooks, and then they might leave because that's all they're willing to share right then. But then they might think about it, or then they go home and in the mailbox is a red NV Energy bill. I wonder if they have this. So it takes time to build those relationships. We want everybody to engage with us in long-term case management, but no one has ever come through the door and say, I'd like to sign up for the case management. Shocking.
Right. And sometimes when those conversations start happening while they are choosing the food from the food pantries, because it is the client's choice, and while they're choosing what they can use in the closed closet because they have hygiene, and conversations do happen, then the trust starts getting built. Most than none times they open up to us rather quickly, and they tend to see us as someone we can trust with our problems, and then things come about as they're looking for a shoe or clothing for their interview because they've been door dashing and trying to get by, and they really want to do an actual interview for a steady job. Then conversations start happening, and then we start finding out a little more of the family, and they then tend to stay with us at least for a couple of hours, if not more. Just creating that trust does take a while, but like Brenda said, once it's there, it's really hard to lose that trust both ways. So it's great.
So our challenge is, the first giant paragraph is unstable funding, financial challenges at micro, macro levels, the elimination of some family resource centers. We have gone from 1, and then there were more, and then there were 7, and then there were 5, and then there were 3, and then there are 5. It's like the accordion. So lack of funding can impede the program development. And of course that works with staff as well. So we're just constantly putting out fires. When do you have time? When did you find time to write that grant?
I have no idea. Only after 3 o'clock, I can tell you that.
Yeah. So, and sometimes we are overwhelmed with the sheer number of families seeking help. So you come in and you give that phone a side eye because it's blinking, and you're picking up 7 new messages. And oh, I just left 10 minutes ago. So that can be overwhelming because you can't just listen to the messages. They're all packed, chock full of things. So, and then we have to focus on addressing crises and ongoing needs of our community. And so thanks to Jesse, we're much better at marketing ourselves and doing the outreach and the social media part that none of us were ready to jump in and embrace. But how else are we gonna pat ourselves on the back? We're not very good at that. So perceived value, so that it's difficult to measure the true value of the family resource centers beyond counting the numbers, and prevention of the family problems or concerns is difficult to quantify. So I'm struggling with this right now, writing my child abuse prevention grant. How do you quantify abuse or poverty that doesn't occur because we were here? So how do you quantify that? Because grantors want numbers. So it's one of my biggest struggles. So the accountability is increased level of grant compliance and reporting requirements from the state presents challenges always. A lot of that is due to the fact that July 1st, we have got our grants and we hit the ground running, and we don't get grant guidelines as far as reporting until, August, September. So all of the things that we were collecting data on, we're going to change. So changing the horse in the middle of the stream can be really challenging and a little frustrating. So high turnover in state FRC challenges has presented challenges, and then our own staff turnover. So all of our advocates and protects got substantial raises this year. I don't know of another program in the world that when you get a raise feels like a punch in the stomach at the same time. So, because it presents challenges. So, but it is hard to get good quality staff when you don't pay them as much, but if you give them giant raises, then it shrinks the pot. So those are our challenges. And I bet Scott has some questions.
I do not have questions. I just wanted to hear that we're still, or maybe we're not still experiencing the same things that we were experiencing pre-pandemic, because this was done right before the world shut down, right? That January, February.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was conducted then, and then we ended up actually publishing it in like August, July and August. So, in fact, like the big rollout of the strategic plan was done via Zoom, nobody in the same room. So it was rather anticlimactic. You look around to celebrate, high fives. Oh yeah, I'm by myself. So.
Well, and I think it's important for the council to hear as we embark on another round of strategic planning. It was an opportunity for engagement for all of us as council members. So I anticipate that being the same when it comes time for the staff to sit down and write this. That just because Sheila Leslie did a listening session doesn't mean that we don't have input. So hearing that the strengths and the challenges, I think, are important for us so that we can help drive some of the decisions we make as the council.
Yeah. So.
And not only that, but like, are we being good stewards to the Family Resource Center? Mm-hmm. Are we holding our end of the bargain as council members? And oftentimes it feels like we just come to the meetings and that's all that we do. But it's really hearing some of the challenges, like how can we, and I don't want answers today from anybody, right, but how can we vision forward to not make these challenges in a year and a half?
So in my tenure here, we've had strategic plans done by Deborah Loesch Griffin and by Julia Ratty. So, which is I know it's pretty impressive, and their commitment to like hearing what we do. It just, when you do this hard work, it's so nice when somebody says, "Wow, you guys are doing a lot." It does mean a lot. So thanks for listening.
Of course.
Yeah.
Any questions for Brenda? Perla, do you have any questions for Brenda? Awesome. And like I said, this is going to be a standing item on our agenda just so that we can digest the 35 pages and not keep you here past dinner time. I appreciate family time. So thank you, Brenda, for guiding us through that. And yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity because it's nice to dig this out. As Lisa has said, we're in grant writing season. It still applies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still there. So.
All right. Moving on in our agenda, we have item 2.06, which is the review of upcoming Council on Family Resource Center's June 2024 meeting date and reminder of importance of regular attendance on the council. Also, we have 2 vacancies on the council. So I would love to engage in a conversation on how to recruit people. I think oftentimes people don't know we exist, so they don't know to apply for it. Mm-hmm. Or it's just one of those things that's on a tab on the school district's website. Nobody really goes to those tabs. We can refer all day long on social media, but really getting people that are like-minded in the same room as us often is hard. And I think when I saw Lisa last at a awards breakfast, I said, can we get on the listserv? Because we were in a room of people that cared, people that wanted to be there. So I wanted to throw it out to you guys to give, I don't want to say Lisa, but give me ideas of how I can recruit people, who I can recruit, who sticks out in your mind. Of course, I would say Sheila Leslie, but she's not here anymore, right? And she's no longer assigned to a government position. So, but also mindful that as we get ready to dive into strategic planning, and the Family Resource Council is going to be a pivotal part. We want people that are going to be good stewards. People that often come through the programs are often the best voice for the program. I'm a firm believer in that. So I'm willing to hear, I try to even recruit our newest site director's husband that wasn't even at our meeting. Didn't work out in my favor. So
So the event that you referred to was at the Human Services Network? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea, although they're all pretty stretched as well.
Absolutely. And I think that's the mindful notion, right? We don't want to stretch anybody anymore, but we want people that are understanding of what we do. I'll tell you, when I joined the council in 2017, I had no idea. I had just started working at the homeless shelter, and I was like, oh, here's a resource. Let me go check it out. And then I really dove into it. I'm like, they need some help, so let me. As a parent of a school district, I thought I was doing good by joining the council, and it's proven to be my passion. Like, I have been afforded opportunities to sit with the decision makers, right? Esther's was a big process the last 3 years, and is it Laura or Lauren?
Lauren.
Laura heard from me about the family resource centers every time we had money in the Esther's grant. So I'm like, and that's what I think is going to drive the success of the resource centers is us being that plug in awkward times. We know that, okay, that for the first time in 7 years, 8 years, there's increased funding opportunities with the state grants. Okay, but what other grants are out there? What I bombard Lisa often with, maybe we can look at this. Maybe we can think about this.
We appreciate that so much.
And oftentimes it's like, we've already looked at that. Let me look more into. And I don't think they'll ever get bombarded as I say they do, because they want more, right? They want more resources to hand out. Right now they're strapped, and so I think by recruiting or having the right people in the council might mean there's different ways, like, and joining the council, grant writing experience, like. That's something I don't want to ever do.
And to clarify for the board and our guests, the district, we are a standalone 100% grant funded entity, but the Washoe County School District still tells us what grants we can and cannot apply for. So we have taken them some pearls and they have said nope. So those can be frustrating.
And I think to that notion, oftentimes you need to have a collaborative government agency to apply for some of the grants. So the school district wants to be mindful of what they're willing to risk, right? It's that risk. Does it outweigh the benefits? Yeah. Madam Vice Chair, your hand is up.
Rebecca, I was going to send an email out to the school social workers because, like, at our last meeting, I always tell people about Family Resource Center, but at our last meeting, someone was talking about it, and I don't think they all know. Because they're not, like, I'm lucky because I'm attached to it. Yeah. I was an intern, like, I know it, so I can always talk about it. But a lot of them don't really know what you guys do, so I was going to send an email and be like, hey, if you want to come to a board meeting, if you want to join the board, it's like, it's a good way for you to advocate for your people in your community, as well as kind of know what's going on. So I'm going to do that.
At this point, I don't think anything will hurt us. Like, we've had one vacancy for almost the whole year, the whole school year. We had a seat recently become vacant within the last 3 months. So it's not that, yes, I don't think it's, I would not be opposed to anybody reaching out to the governor and asking the governor to come sit on our board, for Christ's sakes. We're at the point where we've done so much with what we have that it doesn't hurt to reach out to uncommon resources.
I think we may see some opportunities to recruit some folks through the full service community schools project. We had a very successful convening last week.
The board of trustees.
There were a couple of trustees there. Yeah. The interim superintendent was there. We had folks from the state and the county and the city.
Made my heart happy that it was Ed O'Brien.
It was very well attended and with lots of decision makers, and the concept was received enthusiastically. So we obviously have a long way to go before we get anything concrete out of that effort, but as we're starting to build some awareness now, and we may end up with some allies that we didn't have before.
Yeah, so awesome. And Panera catered breakfast. Who knew?
Wish they did a tour for our FRC at O'Brien, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, the time was pretty limited. Yeah. And it was, because it was a school day, we were having to work around all the students in the halls.
Yeah. Awesome. It sounds like it was fruitful. So as we continue the conversation, if you guys think of any opportunities for recruitment to fill the vacancies, as the agenda item says, please share their contacts. Lisa, do you want to be the point of contact for that?
Sure, and then also, just an update on our previous conversations about recruitment methods. So I did run those through the board services department because I don't want to do anything that goes against protocol. So I did get the green light to reach out to Human Services Agency, so I will do that. But we had also discussed possibly
Human
a flyer.
Services Network.
Yes, did I say agency? That is definitely on the brain. Human Services Network, thank you. And then the flyer I thought was a great idea. However, for consistency's sake, with all of our other district committees, that's not gonna be an option.
Okay.
But I will reach out to Human Services Network and ask them to promote that in their listserv.
And then
Thank you for those ideas too.
Of course. Can you remind us, is there any criteria for the type of board member? Is it just community members? Is it district decision, like District A has an appointee on the council? Or is it, do they have to be a part of some sort of agent? And I referenced some of the other agent or the councils and commissions within the district that they're very distinct by statute. Like the Safe and Healthy Schools Commission, you have to have law enforcement, mental health providers, parents, community members. Is there a criteria that we're tied to for the council?
So I don't think we have that kind of criteria as far as agency. I have seen on the website that there's a breakdown by like area of the district, but I haven't heard, that has presented an issue for us. So I think the main thing is people that are committed to the community and the needs of the community, in supporting our work at the Family Resource Center.
Okay.
I remember seeing something in the strategic plan document about presentations to community groups as a way to elevate the awareness of the Family Resource Centers. That could also be kind of a recruitment tool. A couple of Rotary meetings, and you might have a good selection of folks.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And we have actually had Rochelle and some other department staff attending Rotary meetings because they've given us some funding in the past. Good. So yeah, that is a good opportunity as well.
And I don't know if it would be allowed for council members to make presentations, but if we could, we would.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You just have our flyers, and for questions, call.
Well, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that we should probably talk about the application. I'm trying to look at the agenda item to talk, like, for recruiting, like, what is the application process? Like, I don't want to say contact Lisa. There's a process through the
There's
board
a link
services.
on the website.
Okay.
Where people would submit an application.
Okay.
It's not a difficult application process.
No, but
Easier than finding desert skies.
All right. Any other comments on item 2.06? Okay. Hearing none, we will close item 2 and go into item 3, which is our closing item. Item 3.01. Public comment.
We have no public comment.
Nobody signed in for public comment.
No, there was no emailed public comment, but may I, if it's appropriate, introduce our two guests that we have this
Absolutely.
evening. So Cesar Garcia is one of our social work interns from UNR, and he is with me at the Spark site, and I'm very happy about that and appreciative that we have him. So thank you, Cesar, and thank you for being here. And we have Jose Gomez from Molina MCO, who works very closely with us for events and some sponsorship and referrals and helping our mutual families. So thank you, Jose, for being here as well, and all of your support of the FRC.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you both for being here. Okay, we will close public comment and go to item 2.0 or 3.02, which is the announcement of our next meeting, which is Thursday, June 20th, 2024. Stay tuned for location. Hopefully we're back in the boardroom. And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting at 7:08.
Coward.
Well, now we kind of know what to do.
I think we did great.
Coward.
Don't get me wrong. But like I said when I got here,
No gusto.
at least we didn't have to go to Cold Springs.
That's true.
But then
Because-
people get to see what the center looks like if you haven't. So.
I think the Cold Springs one is the only one I have not been to. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Perla. Thank you for coming.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, jeez.